Welcome to a lovely new video. Why is this one lovely? Well, I'm going to explain to you that right now. There is a special day coming up in a few days and I wanted to make a nice, neat, special video for that as well. While I personally won't celebrate that day, maybe you are. I don't even know if it's even celebrated all around the world, but One Piece hasn't had a special about that in the anime, so I want to make a special myself, yes. It is the Valentine's special. It's all about love here. Maybe we're going to cook, or not cook, we're going to bake some cookies or something. Make some lovely chocolate and everything just that our crush will accept us and we can start a relationship. Now, I'm not going to talk about the canon relationships in One Piece, like technically we could talk about Sanji and Pudding, we could talk about Zoro and Yuri, I think is her name. We could also talk about, what else was there? Robin and Frankie's. These are all not canon relationships. These are just fan stories that we all want to be canon. The only canon relationship I can think of is Rayleigh and the woman who was the previous empress of the people from Boa's country. I don't even know if there are other people. Like, Big Mom had a lot of relationships, but they're all divorced. So who else was there? Like, Makino is not even super together with Shanks if that's actually his child, so we don't really know that much about relationships canon the story. So I want to make my own relationships for One Piece. So I picked up a One Piece character generator and made it so that it rolls me two characters, and I'm going to tell you how these couples, these characters that got generated, how they got together, how the relationship looked like, and how everything is just going to work out for them. So our first couple is this one. It's Kenzo and Zeo. Kenzo is obviously basically the stepfather of Nami and Nojiko. I mean, technically you can tell him, call him that, because he was not really married to Belmare, but he really took care of Nami and Nojiko, so he can be called the stepfather. So this is a very interesting thing because Zeo is a fishman. He was from the Fisherman Island arc and he was a member of Hody Jones' gang. So he is really against humans. So is this an enemies to lover scenario, hating to loving, or is this more like a Romeo and Juliet scenario? Because Genzo has come from an island where everybody, I don't think that they all hate fishmen, but they are very much prejudiced to be against fishmen because Arlong was such an asshole to all of them. And now Zeo is pretty much the opposite. He hates humans for what they have done to the fishmen over all of these decades and centuries. So both of them hate the other race, but somehow they have found a reason to love each other, and maybe their societies are against them being together, but somehow they want to make it work. And this is the reason why Genzo starts to open up for fishmen again, and Zeo starts to learn how to love humans once again. I feel like this is actually quite cute in the story. It doesn't need to be Genzo and Zeo, but even if it's like, I would love to see Nami end up with a fishman, even though that wouldn't make any sense, and One Piece is not a romance story, but just seeing these prejudices you have against fishmen get completely, get rid of them. I know that Koala will probably end up with Sabo if there's any relationships, but Koala together with a fishman would also be very cute. Now, with that first couple out of the way, let us take a look what the second couple will be. The second couple will be Naco and Lakuba. I have to check this for a second. I think Lakuba was from the slave trading in Sabaody, and Naco is actually the doctor also from Genzo's Island, so from the Orange Archipelago, so Nami's hometown. So this is another case of a pirate who got together with just a normal civilian. Lakuba is a really minor character. We don't really even know that much about him, so there's not much to go off. But he's a pirate and Naco is a doctor. Naco is a bit older, and so I would say this probably worked out that one day Lakuba was in the East Blue and he stranded on the Orange Archipelago. He was injured and very badly hurt from having battled against Marines and all these other people. And not knowing that he's a pirate, because maybe he covered up his tattoo and doesn't have skull marks all over his face, Naco picked him up and was just like, I'll take care of this person because I don't want somebody to die on my island. And then they got to know each other, and before Naco learned that he's actually a pirate, they somehow fell in love with each other. And then it just worked out from that point onwards. They had a relationship, and because the people from the Orange Archipelago or from Nami's hometown are still scared of like pirates, he has to be like hidden for a long time. But then sometime later, another pirate group arrives at the islands of Nami, and then Lakuba comes and protects everybody here, and he gets accepted into the society of the Orange Archipelago, and they can live happily ever after. One Piece love stories are just completely random, and just like every what if scenario, this is just a random what if. So let's take a look at the third couple. I think we're going to make 2 more couples here and there just to see how everything's going to look like. This is, let's skip this because this is a zombie, this is not a real person. And we have Whitey Bay and Windsmoke Judge. This is interesting. So Windsmoke Judge obviously is the father of Sanji and all of the other Windsmoke family members. He is currently on the run from Big Mom and everybody else as well, because they kind of lost their good position. Sanji has also made a mess out of everything there, so he wants to build up more power. How does he want to build up more power? I don't think this is a real love story. I think Judge wants to use Whitey Bay for more power and establish his kingdom in new parts. And why is that? Because Whitey Bay is the only female commander in Whitebeard's pirate crew. I know Whitebeard is not alive anymore, but the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates are still active. If they didn't die in the payback war against Blackbeard, so let's just assume Whitey Bay is still alive in the post-time skip era. So if Windsmoke Judge and Whitey Bay actually get together, I can see this similar to Sora, how the Judge just wants to use Whitey Bay as a new source to create even stronger children, because he's somewhat disappointed in his first generation of children, with Ichiji, Niji, Sanji, and Yonji, and Reiju as well, because all of them, while they are powerful, they are not that impressive in the end. They didn't do all of the things that he wanted, and he can't like rule over the world with just these people. And Whitey Bay has a lot of a stronger body than Sora, unless Sora really is like this completely strong warrior of the justice that the Marines have manifested out of nowhere. I feel like this is a problem, because Marco probably won't accept this relationship. I would see Whitey Bay is under Whitebeard, who was her father. Now that Whitebeard is dead, we could assume that Marco is the leader of that entire crew. So Marco would need to approve of that relationship, and Whitey Bay, just say Whitey Bay really loves Judge, but Judge doesn't do it. So there would be the conflict that Marco doesn't want this relationship to happen, but Whitey Bay still wants it to be there. Now, I don't think that the Whitebeard pirates would just get together with the Judge people and the Windsmoke people, but this could also be an interesting connection, because the Whitebeard pirates are already connected with Straw Hats, and then connecting the Windsmokes again with the Whitebeard pirates, who also have a connection to the Straw Hats, that would be an interesting plot thread. But it's so out of nowhere, because those two characters have no relationship in any way. I guess we can skip over that and just get the fourth and last couple for our nice Valentine's special. Our last couple will be, I don't know who that is. He looks like a filler character. We're gonna skip. I don't know either of those. Let's make a couple of characters that we know. This is not legal. Carrier Devon, you're going to get back into Impel Down. Okay, let's go with this one. I skipped through a bunch here because none of them, like, I knew none of these characters, but now we have 2 characters that we actually know of. Portgas de Rouge and Hachan. How does this make any sense? Portgas de Rouge actually died before the canon story started, because she is Ace's mother. I need to check Hachan's age for a second here, because Hachan is obviously a bit younger, I would assume. Hachan is actually 38 years old. Portgas de Rouge, her actual age is unknown. Let's just assume things here and there, that things worked out. She's not dead. She lived after Ace was born, and she somehow met Hachan in the future because she didn't die, so she needed protection from the world, and this makes so much sense. She didn't die in this universe, so she needed protection because if the word comes out that she's the wife of Gold Roger and the mother of the child of Goldie Roger, she had to have somebody who protected her. So Rayleigh came to her and got her and protected her. But Rayleigh is just here and there. Rayleigh has his own wife already, or just lover. And Port-Castiel Rouge, she loved Roger, don't get me wrong, but Hachan is a special person. He's funny, he can cook, he can take care of you, and he will protect you with everything he has. So Hachan, well, he got basically raised by Rayleigh in some extent as well. So Hachan met Rouge from time to time, and when he grew up, he fell in love with her, and they got closer and closer together, and Hachan kept on trying to get together with her. But Rouge was at first against the entire thing, maybe not because of the whole racism thing, but just because she didn't want to forget Roger. But Hachan, how he is, he will accept that. He doesn't want to hurt the whole thing that she already lost her first husband, so he will just love her, and this is an unrequited love story. Hachan wants to protect Port-Castiel Rouge with everything he has, but he will never get his love that he just wants to have. So Rouge maybe sees him like a younger brother or just a child in itself because of the age difference, but Hachan wants this relationship. He tries everything he can, but it just doesn't work, and he's going to be happy because he wants Rouge to be happy, and Rouge is happy if he makes all of the fun things happen, cooks for her and all of these things. So while they are not officially together, he's just happy seeing the woman he loves to be happy. And this is just a random video. Next week we're probably going to be on a better thing. Let me just check what next week's video will be about. Maybe I can give you a quick teaser. Next week's video will be something interesting. Something I have looked forward to for a long time as well, because I had this prepared for a bunch of time already. Now, all that's left for me to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. We will see each other again in the next video. This has been Pyroprimer, and see you later. Bye!